Apparently, we're live.
We're live?
We're live.
On YouTube.com?
I don't know. On StreamYard, I have no idea how this works. Does anyone know how this works?
I think we're on YouTube now.
Are we on YouTube?
We're famous YouTubers, and we have a lot of money, and we get up to no good.
Right. Hello, Steve. Eep. So if you guys can actually see and hear us, say so in the chat. Oh, wow. Live and everything. Yeah.
Hi, Bo.
You can see I spared no expense. We're using the free version of StreamYard. I don't know how this works either. So anyway, GutBomb and I had an idea. Oh, ouch!
It's fine.
That reminds me, I need a cold beverage.
It's a crappy 3D printed tripod.
Oh,
and it just broke. So
oh
no,
no,
go right there. You get to see up my nose for the rest of the stream.
It looks pretty clean.
All right, good.
Yeah.
Hi, folks. Go.
So, GutBomb and I were discussing the our ill-gotten gains, or loot, or whatever you want to call it. Ooh, he's got a bin. I just have loose stuff all over my bench. But anyway, I picked up several things today, and I guess you picked up some things recently.
Yeah, I got this today. I think we were probably on the road at the same time getting stuff.
Yep. Yeah, the big item I got was a Power Macintosh G3 tower, mini tower. I don't know. It's not that mini to me. It looks pretty big.
Is it as big as those though?
It's about the same size as the other G3, the blue one.
Okay.
I guess roughly. I don't know.
I don't know why they call it a mini tower.
Because it's not a maxi tower. Who knows? Anyway, what else did you get?
Well, all I know is that there's a Mac Plus in this bin and a keyboard and a mouse. But there's other stuff in there too, and I've been saving it to open here. And I don't know what the other stuff is.
Okay, that sounds good. Steve says he picked up something cursed today. Must be a printer, and it'll end up in a lake.
Steve, the StreamYard link is posted. You could show us live.
Yes, we like cursed items. So who else we got? We got Martin Mac and Dave's Vintage Apple Tech, and Steve Mac 84, and
it's Bo. That's
Bo?
My son.
Bo. Hey, Bo. Retro Tech or Die. Apple's Anonymous. Mr. Garth Beagle himself. Rudy's Retro Intel. That appears to be everyone. So, hi. Anyway, so who wants to go first? You want to just pull some random thing out of that bin, or?
Oh, you go first. I want to see your stuff.
Oh, okay. I'll go first. Excuse me while I learn to IT. Okay, so this is the big item. Wait, move the camera. Okay.
You should make yourself big.
Oh, yeah. Now I got to remember how to do that. How do I do that? Stand by. There. Eyes big now. Okay. Yeah, we got that high res free SteamYard picture there.
Oh yeah, that it looks like you're streaming from a Power Macintosh G3.
How do you like my henna?
Oh, it's is that homemade?
Actually, that's more of the traditional stuff. I
Mhm.
We had a Diwali celebration at work, and they had henna painting, and I said I want a smiley face, so I got the Kool-Aid kid smiley face. Anyway, so this machine was available locally on Marketplace. The guy wanted $60 for it. He's into SGI Sun stuff. He picked it up a while ago, never did anything with it. Doesn't have a hard drive. He said it booted. I mean, he ran OS 9 on it, but he hadn't done anything in a while. And I offered him $30, and he went, "No, I got to have more than $30." I said, "Well, what would you take for it?" And he made the classic mistake of saying, "I'd take 45 for it."
Well, there you go.
And I'm like, "Okay, can I get it tomorrow?" So nice guy, you know. I think he's just tired of looking at it. Wasn't going to do anything with it.
Yep.
But it weighs a ton. Get it around here so you can see the back. Oh. Excuse my screaming. Get it
Okay,
close
those
enough
things
to
weigh like 60 pounds.
feel like it. Oh, there, that's good enough to read. So it's a PowerPC G3, 333 megahertz with a 1 megabyte cache, 120 megabyte / 9 gigabyte drive. Apparently, this thing does SCSI as well as ATA drives, PC drives. It's got a 24 speed CD in it, and anyway, but this is the maxed out version of it, I guess. So it's a awesome machine. It's actually pretty clean inside.
Do you have plans for it yet?
Well, I'm gonna get a drive in it because right now it doesn't have a hard drive. So I need to learn more about it because I think it's got I don't know, some version of SCSI that's more advanced than the usual SCSI.
Yep.
And I don't, of course, have drives for that, so I'm not even sure what I can do. I don't think you can use a blue SCSI with it unless you like plug
You can
into
get
the SCSI in the back.
you can get an adapter to plug that
Can you? Okay.
wide SCSI into it.
Oh, okay. Ultra wide, right? Is
Yeah.
that what it is?
Yep.
Which makes no sense. It's narrower. So I know they're
Yeah,
talking about
it'll be really nice and fast. You'll max out the blue SCSI V2.
right, and that's the thing. The ultra wide is more about the bandwidth, I guess.
Mhm.
Yeah. Anyway, so it's got some dust in it. I mean, it's not completely clean, but let me get it on its side. Oh my god. Ow. What, did only tiny children open these? Come on. There we go. This surprised me. I didn't realize it was one of these that opens up like this.
Yep.
So, focus. Focus. I guess that's as good as it gets. But it has 2 cards in it. So one of them is the SCSI, ultra wide SCSI, I guess. That's what this is. And you can see it's got a little bit of dirt on it from, the fan and stuff. but it's maxed out on RAM, I think.
How much is in there?
What's the maximum it can take?
Oh, I don't know.
I
I've got
had
a
it here.
gig in my blue and white, and that seems like a lot.
This takes 128 megabytes of RAM.
Martin says 768 megs max.
Oh, okay. So I don't know if it's maxed out or not. But I think it's got more than the base RAM in it.
And this is a 333?
Yeah, it's a 333.
Nice.
Yeah, anyway, so it's got apparently the bezels for these are kind of hard to get.
Especially the one that you have there for the zip drive.
Oh, okay.
That one is especially rare because it's like meant for tape drives and stuff. And I think Ron is interested in 3D scanning it to replicate it for 3D printing.
Oh yeah, well I'll definitely take it apart and send it to him then. So you're saying this is
Yep, that one.
okay. Yeah, so it's got a zip 100 drive in it, got CD-ROM drive, it's got a floppy drive.
And the plastic doesn't seem too brittle either.
Well, this actually is lighter. It's not faded.
Yeah, it might be made out of a different material.
Yeah. Anyway.
Or put on much later.
Yeah. So I thought I'd fire it up.
Yes.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, what's that tag on it say?
Oh, it says marketing strategy serial number 1371.
Interesting.
So
I wonder if marketing strategies is a company or if it's a department.
I think it was a company. I did a search for it, and of course, that's a rather generic name. But there is a company in Michigan called Marketing Strategies Group. Mm-hmm. So it's possible it was from them, or like you said, it could have been a department.
I've never had any of the machines with this form factor. I had no idea it had a little Apple logo on the side there.
Yeah, there's this little tiny embossed Apple logo. Not sure why they made it so subdued. I guess one of the form factors for this was a server.
Yep.
So, I get my video adapter doodle here. I will confess, I did fire it up to make sure I could get the video. Okay, so it just so happens part of the hoard of stuff that Ron gave me a couple of years ago.
Oh, look
at that. I happen to have a PowerBook G3 CD. So that was kind of cool. Okay, it's running. Let's get my screen going here. Oh. I'm probably going to have to fix this. I wasn't prepared to do this. Yep. Let's do this. While I'm figuring this out, why don't we'll make you big.
Hi. I've got a duck logo.
Right on your face. Yes. You were a duck head.
All right, so I got this bin today, and I know there's Mac Plus in here, and it's filthy. So let's see what else is in there. See if I can show the bin a little bit more. We got a box. Looks like what would have come in the box with it. I'm going to move the bin to the floor. I'll get rid of the crotch shot there. Okay, so Apple Macintosh Plus. Open Me first. It's got the tour, but the disc is actually not in there. Open Me third. This is like warranty stuff. Set up your Mac Plus, how to plug it into the wall and whatnot. More warranty stuff. A Microsoft thing. Oh, and it's got a date written on it. November 18th, 1989. Is today November 18th? It is.
Oh, wow. Cool.
That's an interesting anniversary. Customer license agreement. What is in here? It is Fastback for the Macintosh. The label is wants to make a break for it, but I don't know what this is. Does Steve, do you know what this is? Is this backup software? Let's see. Oh, HyperCard.
Ooh.
Macintosh HyperCard, and it's got discs, and this is like a packing list of what this came with. And then what it came with: the plus, the keyboard, the mouse, programmer switch, power cord, discs, manuals, quick reference, warranty, registration, and the HyperCard software package. I do not have an ImageWriter 2 in this box. I'm fine with that. Sorry, Steve. The PCR directory, your primary source for Apple computers, compatible software, peripherals, and service. This appears to be like a brochure of what was available at the time. Seminars. There's no HyperCard seminars. They need to get you on the clock.
Yes.
I think that this probably at one time had a Rodime hard drive because there's some Rodime stuff in here. I've not opened the machine yet, so I don't know what's in it. But so there's that. The owner's guide. Oh, more disc. There is. Read license agreement before breaking this seal. Well, let's put HyperCard ideas, HyperCard help, and HyperCard and stacks.
Cool.
And then this one, there's a Rodime installer disk. And Microsoft Works integrated productivity software for Apple Macintosh systems 800K disk. This is pretty neat. I've never seen these disk trays before. And then this is System 5. You have system tools and utilities, all 4 disks. This is like a service bulletin for the Rodime stuff. Interesting. I hope that's like in here. More warranty stuff. More warranty stuff. HyperCard version 1.2 update manual, or like release notes, I think.
Oh, cool.
This is neat. I've never seen this before. If you insert disk, can you get a printout of what's on it? Remember the columns, newsletter, how to move one file. Somebody printed out a directory, and the dates on it are between 94 and 90, or between 89 and 96. That's interesting. The registration card. All right, that's the box. How are you doing? Do you want to do some more before I move on?
Yeah, I can't get the right geometry with this screen, so I'm not gonna bother. It doesn't have a drive in it anyway. I got it to boot off the CD.
Oh, but it turns on.
Yeah, I can show you what I got, but I think the switch settings are wrong on my conversion device.
Yeah.
So this is what it looks like.
I don't think that's right.
Yeah, something's wrong with that. So I'll have to figure it out. I just used the switch settings that I had for the 60 or the 610, the Quadra.
Mm-hmm.
So, but it does boot. So there is that. I wonder if it works better on my. Hang on, I got another idea. So I got some.
Do you have an
software.
Apple monitor?
I do. I could grab that and plug it in. I think I'll do that. So I'll show something off, and then the next time around I'll get the monitor out. So,
excellent.
All right. So what else did I pick up today? Move this sucker out of the way. Maybe. We'll put this on top of there. We'll put this over, tangled up over here. And we'll move this back. All right. So I picked this up. I recognize these. So it was lot number 483. I got it for $2. It's got, some scratches on it and stuff like you would expect.
Yep.
But it actually has discs. I didn't realize that in the option. So this one says food stock price.
Okay.
Whatever that is. This says, come on, PFS right?
PFS right.
Mm-hmm. So that must be maybe some software called PFS, right? I don't know. And then this is I don't think it's going to focus.
I can make out the word property, but that's it.
I'll just read it. IPC Property Management Guided Tour Demo Disc equals C. Insert disc in drive A. Have 1/2 inch foam in printer. Enter A:"demo.
Interesting. I'm very curious what's on there.
Yeah, I doubt I have a machine that runs it. Or I don't even have a drive anymore. I got rid of all that stuff years ago. So somebody has something they think they can screw around with it with, they're welcome to it. I'll send it to them. Let's see what else. I picked up these at Goodwill. They're just Sharpies. I also picked this up. DVD maker.
Oh. Is that like a video capture?
Yeah, it's a video capture.
The days of yore?
Yeah. MPEG 2/1.
Oh, those were like geared towards people taking their old home movies and like putting them on DVDs, right?
Yeah. So, but it comes with it's USB 2.0. That's speedy.
Ooh,
Uh,
it would work great with that Power Macintosh G3 right there.
it's probably got some DOS software with it, but here's the adapter. Somebody had some cables with it, and your little Sony accessory book. Oh, digital video camera recorder. So they left their manual for their video in here, but it comes with K-World driver, video editing, DVD maker, USB, a Sound Blaster disc, power director.
Oh, that's yeah, that's like some DVD mastering stuff.
Sony Handycam. So anyway, it was.
I hope there's a handy cam in that box too.
No, it was $3. So what the heck? I'll see if I can do anything with it. If not, it'll go in the junk.
You should make a DVD about HyperCard with it.
Yeah, right. And then I got this Studio Ultimate.
Oh, wow.
But here, this is why I got it. It wasn't because it does all of these things. Come on. It wasn't the beautiful box. It wasn't this box. It came with a green screen blanket. And I thought, well, that's worth the $5.
Perfect.
So I don't even know how big it is.
You can put that to use.
I have a green screen actually. It's all rolled up, but I thought, what the heck? You know, it's a fairly small one now that I'm unfolding it, but you know, maybe my wife could use it. It's actually not too bad. It only smells a little bit. It just smells like fabric. And then the box comes with a Pinnacle Getting Started guide and the shiny software. It looks like it wasn't even used.
Interesting.
Somebody bought it and never did anything with it. The studio guide. Remember when you used to get manuals?
I wonder, like, if anybody ever used that software to make anything.
I don't think anyone used it. I mean, it's still got tape stuck to it.
Interesting.
So, anyway, if anything, I got a green screen out of it.
Hi, Joe.
Okay. So, why don't you, here, I'll make you big, and you can show off your next thing.
All right. Hi, I'm back. I've got a Mac Plus keyboard and mouse, and it's kind of dirty, and the enter key is broken.
Oh no!
And the stem is broken off in the key. But I'm going to attempt to fix this on Dave's stream tomorrow. I think I'm going to do some. I want to wash all the keys first, so I don't want to glue this back down. Or I'm going to try acetone, but I don't want to glue this thing back down before that because I don't want to have to break it to get it off to clean. So I'm going to run the keycaps through the ultrasonic tonight. So then I'll be ready to repair it tomorrow. But the mouse feels good, and I'm glad that I was able to find a Mac Plus with a mouse and a keyboard and the keyboard cable. I'm assuming that this is the proper cable and that it's not just a phone cable because it's the right color.
Sorry, I'm struggling with a monitor.
You're good. And then this power cable is just a regular old power cable, but it has an Apple logo on it. It's like actually the one that came with the machine, which I never see that. So that's kind of cool. I've got System 6 guide here, and then a sealed Macintosh Utilities User's Guide, and then a semi-sealed HyperTalk Beginner's Guide and Introduction to Scripting.
Oh, that's neat.
Another 2 power cables, a serial cable, and this is kind of out of place. This is a more modern Apple cable. All right, and then this guy right here, the machine. And from what I can tell, there doesn't appear to be much burn-in, if any. And it was stored with Scotch tape over the disk drive, which is nice.
Kept some of the dust out.
Yep. It's dirty, but it doesn't look too bad. The battery door is still there. Let's hope that there isn't carnage behind it. Well, there's a battery in there.
Uh-oh.
But it doesn't look green. There is a tiny bit of blue gunk on this terminal, but it could be worse.
Yeah.
This battery is not going back in there. I will come up with a solution for that later. So I'm going to crack this open.
I got to find a power cable for a monitor.
I think I've got one right over here.
Oh, hand it to me, please.
Okay, the programmer switch is not on here.
Okay. Oh, yeah, I always forget to check for that.
Oh, there's another screw here. I've never taken apart a Plus before, so I didn't even realize that there was a screw up here by the battery.
So what's the story behind this machine?
I saw it on Facebook Marketplace, and it wasn't in the place that I usually find the old computers, and it was just listed as Mac Plus. And it was listed for $250, and I offered her $150, and she accepted that immediately. And then I drove about an hour to go get it today.
That's cool. Yeah, the Plus is the first Mac I ever owned.
I'm assuming to take this apart that there aren't clips. It's just like an SE, right?
Yeah, it's pretty much the same.
It's pretty stuck.
Yep.
Are you ready to show anything? Because
probably has never been opened.
Yeah, I don't want people to watch me struggling, so I'll get it open while you're showing something.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Can't show the monitor off yet because I haven't found the power cable. However, I can show another monitor. So let me switch. Okay, let's move that out of the way a little. So it's not strictly a monitor, but I picked this up at auction.
Beautiful.
It's very yellowed and dirty, but I haven't plugged it in or anything yet. But it is a Sony Trinitron. And what I liked about it is it does have composite inputs. So you do have a video and audio in, which is nice because I would like to be able to use it for gaming and stuff.
Yep.
And it's a cute little monitor.
And you got a little antenna on it too.
Yeah. Yeah. So I could capture all those TV programs from the, the last century. Yeah. So I'm going to plug it in and see if it fires up. I don't have anything handy to give it a signal. Oh, wait a minute. Maybe I do. Anyway.
I'm just catching up on chat now. I saw the tape maybe from the FBI sealing the data.
Okay, I hear a whine.
I literally got it open as soon as Eric switched the cameras.
Did you?
Yep.
Okay, we're gonna switch back.
No. You're showing that, so
you sure? Okay.
We can look at this
look.
after.
Oh, it said video on it. That's gone now.
Is this the first time you've had it turned on?
Yeah, I haven't turned it on until now.
Excellent. Yeah, that would be great for an
TV.
Apple II.
There we go. I do have something else I haven't tested that I bought a while ago. If I can find it. Maybe. I bought one of those little Atari game systems that, was fake.
Oh, the Atari Flashback?
Yeah, something like that. Ta-da! I haven't tried
and that has composite out, right?
I think, yeah, it does.
Excellent.
Yep.
You know what you have to do.
If it works.
Garth asks if it runs combat. And if it does, do you need some extra combat carts?
Oh, come on. Never have enough power outlets that are the right geometry so I can do this. There we go. Oh, these things work off of infrared, I guess. The controller.
Oh, yeah, those. Yeah, are they the tall ones? Oh, no, they're not the tall ones. They have some where the base is really tall, but I think this may be a later generation.
Oh, okay. Hey,
there you go.
It's working. Nice.
Atari Flashback 7. Garth wants you to play combat.
Apparently, I'm playing 3D chess or 4D chess. I don't know. Anyway, I don't know what I'm doing, so I'm going to shut it off. Anyway, but the monitor works, so I'll clean it up. You know, maybe this case could be retrobrighted. It's obviously whiter on the front bezel than it is on the body.
Mm-hmm.
You know, different plastics, I guess, or it just faded differently because it's pretty yellow in the front. I don't know.
Yeah, those buttons. I don't think those buttons are supposed to be that yellow.
Yeah, they do kind of look like, why would they pick that color scheme? So, that'll be nice for playing games and stuff.
Yep. You have an Apple II, right?
Yes, I do. So it'd make a great monitor for my Apple II. I do have an old security monitor I've been using.
Does that one, is it just composite or does that have RGB on it?
It's just composite.
I have a feeling that Joe is going to be messaging you about RGB modding this thing.
Well, he did. It's not one of the models listed in those mods. So
I saw the on-screen display. It definitely can be.
Yeah.
It may not be on that list, but it definitely can be.
Okay, we're flipping over to you so you can show the guts of this thing.
Oh, all right. So, all right, here we are. There is not an internal hard drive. So I think it's mostly stock. I'm not going to be turning it on today because there's a reefer right there. I'm going to remove that first.
It's fine.
It's not fine. My house already smells like burnt macaroni because of the microwave incident the other night, so I'm not going to make it worse. So we've got that there. It doesn't smell. I've been sniffing it, and it does not smell like fish at all.
Well, that's good.
I'm going to try popping the board out. And see if there's anything going on with the board.
Cable, where's the cable? Yeah. I don't know
where the cable beyond just pull hard to get this cable or the motherboard cable out.
It might have a little clip on the inside of it.
It was pull hard.
Oh, okay.
And it appears that this board.
Yeah, this thing looks pretty clean.
Yeah.
Looks like you got a full complement of 4 meg.
Yeah, that's good because I was going to put 4 meg in it if it didn't. I'm going to have to 3D print myself a programmer switch. But this appears to just be completely stock and very clean. There's like no dust.
Yeah, someone put it in that bin and just left it there.
Yeah, did you see the label on the top of the bin too? It was written Ads Mac.
Yeah.
This says down here 1986, 1987.
Oh, that's a good suggestion. Martin suggests getting a Rominator for it.
I would like to do that because then I could probably use the well, it's probably not just ROMs. I want to use the floppy MU with 1.44 meg disk images, but I probably need to do something else other than just ROMs for that too, right?
You can use a blue SCSI on it.
Yep, that's my plan. And I think John said that he was going to look and see if he had any of the internal SCSI kits left.
Okay. You also need to mod it slightly so you got term power.
Oh yeah, because
there's a diode.
I'm not going to get term power out of here, am I?
Right. Yeah, there's a diode missing. I think it's right there at the top of the board. It's silk screened right on the board.
Yep, right there.
And I think that's it. If you put that diode in,
yep,
you get term power.
Awesome. And then I think there was something that you had to do with resistors if you put 1 meg THIMs in, right?
If it's got 4 meg, it's already got the trace cut for 4 mega RAM.
Okay, these are plastic.
Yeah,
so I want to be
they're
careful
very brittle.
Got four of these guys. Come on, focus on that. There we go. Are these 1 meg SIMs or are these 256s?
I don't know.
I'm actually planning on using a Blue SCSI V1 because that's the DB25 Blue SCSI that I have. And I don't imagine that I would be able to benefit from the speed of the V2 with this.
No.
And I'm planning on running, early system software on here, so I'm not going to be doing networking and certainly not going to be trying to get on IRC with it. I think these are 256s. Yeah, MacFX says that too. So I'm going to have to research about doing that trace cut too. I'm going to do all this on Dave's stream tomorrow. I'll remove the REFA and work on this and get it up and running tomorrow. That's it for me. I don't need to be big anymore.
Oh, okay. Let's see if I had anything else. Did I have anything else? Well, I did get one other thing. I bought this book. We were playing around with loading Minix, which is an Unix-like teaching system. Well, this is the book that they taught version 1.0 of that with. In the version that runs on the 68K the Mac platform is 1.5. So I'm thinking this book will probably, there's 3 editions. This is the first edition. I got it from, I forget which bookseller it is, one of the bigger ones, like Thrift Books or something, on eBay for $6.
Nice. So, oh, that's a hardcover.
Yeah, it's a hardcover. It's a library book, basically. And it's, it was listed as good, which means some of the pages have underlined text and stuff, but and there's some writing in the margins like this. Guy put some comments on the code. Oh, but cool. I don't care about that. That just makes it interesting to me.
Yeah, I love that stuff.
Yeah. So, because I'm hoping that Frederick, when he does that 8-bit computer he's talking about designing, that I could learn how to do an operating system for it.
Mm-hmm. That would be really cool.
I never did any of the operating system course stuff in college. It was all compiler based. The advanced courses were designing a language, writing a compiler for it, that kind of thing. We didn't really do all that much operating system stuff. A little bit, we learned how to do a bad version of fork, which would allow you to do multitasking in Unix, things like that. But not all that much OS. So kind of want to audit that course. You know what I mean? So let's switch back to this camera. So anyway, I don't think I have anything else to show off. I think that's everything I picked up. Yeah. So I'm
trying to get my camera to focus on this Rifa.
It's crackly.
It's got some cracks.
I think they're crackly as soon as they heat up first time. Yeah, my Plus still has its original in it. Actually, I don't know if they're the that style there, the brown gumdrop one, or if it's the square one.
I think I have a replacement, but this will run without it, right? I'll be able to fire the machine up without it.
How's the box fort coming along? Actually, I've been disassembling boxes. So I've been deconstructing the box fort. We still have quite a bit of stuff. This, let me show you the corner that was completely covered in boxes. There's a dent in it. There's a couple of dents, So that's just one of the areas we have supplies, stuff. Anyway, I think, yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yep, that's it for me too.
Yeah.
If you want to see if this thing explodes, tune in to Dave's stream tomorrow.
Yeah, and I'll see if I can't get the geometry right for the video on that so I can capture the screen. I'm gonna I don't know what I'm gonna do. I need to get an adapter to use the Blue SCSI. I don't think I have any hard drives laying around that'll work in it.
Do you need an adapter for Blue SCSI? Does it have?
Well, I could use the back.
I think there's like Garth. Is there a SCSI controller on the motherboard as well, or on the logic board
yeah, that's
as well?
a good question.
Because I think there's just regular SCSI on the logic board, and then that card is for the ultra wide SCSI.
Oh, I don't know. I guess I'll find out. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't want to throw an ATA drive in it. It would be slow.
Yeah. Do you have one of those compact flash adapters for IDE?
Yeah, it's in the it's in my cube.
You might be able to use something like that too.
Yeah.
But it's less fun than a Blue SCSI.
Martin says there's SCSI on the board. So there you go.
Yeah.
I'll just put it slap an internal one in there. It'll give me a reason to use the V2.
You can take that thing to a coffee shop and use the Wi-Fi.
Yeah, build a backpack for it.
Yeah. Bring a CRT along with it.
Yeah, I'll have to bring the monitor too. Or I could do what I did back in the LAN days and bolt a handle to the top of it so I could just lug them along. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I wouldn't use the crappy ATA drives. It's not quicker than the 10 megabyte SCSI bus on board.
Yeah, he's talking about the ultra wide card that's in there.
Okay, so it's limited to.
I still think it's an interesting card, though.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a neat box.
I can't remember. I think Adam was looking for one that had the Adaptec SCSI card in it.
Okay.
But he got one with the ATTO one as well.
Oh, the ATTO is the
yeah, that's the other
ultra wide
SCSI card.
Oh, okay.
It's just another brand.
Yeah. $29.40 UB. Is that the Adaptec card?
I have no idea.
I don't know either.
Can't believe how clean this thing is.
I know. It's amazing.
I think it's accumulated dust from sitting on my bench that wasn't there when I pulled it out of the machine.
Yeah, that's the way it goes. So what else have you been working on lately?
Nothing.
Nothing.
I've been trying to build a Pentium 4 machine, but my compact flash card didn't work, so I need to get another one.
Okay.
My 8 gig compact flash card fried somehow. I can't read it in anything anymore, so I need to get another 8 gig to install Windows XP on. I did stick a hard drive in there in the meantime, but that's no fun.
Yeah. Yeah. I worked a little bit more on the adventure game. Still fixing some bugs, and I'm trying to add more locations to the game with some more things in it, without giving away stuff. But there has to, eventually there'll be a limit where I'm like, I can't add any more. I just need to release it.
You're code complete, right? You're just adding like game elements now.
There's a few bugs that I'm working on. One of the ones I decided just to shelve until the next version is the background music. Excuse me, because I ran into too many problems with it. It's really not much of a feature. So,
are you still going to have sound effects?
Yeah, the sound effects work fine. That uses a different external function. So, right. And that seems to be working stable. So I'm good there. And then I drew a crude map of the game for reference, and noticed I've got a couple of weird directions. Like, you go north into something and you go west to come back to where you were. And I'm thinking about just leaving them in.
Yeah, like time and space are convoluted. It's just part of the mystery.
Yeah. Stuff like that. So added a few more items, like I decided to add Skyrim sweet rolls to it.
Oh, nice.
And you can bake them. So you have to collect the ingredients to make them. Stuff like that.
I can't wait to play it.
Yeah, it's the text file for the config is now big enough. You have to use you can't use teach text or anything like that to open it. It's too big. So
will the game fit on an 800K floppy?
I think not with all the sound effects. What I might have to do is like a 2 floppy release. One that's got the game on it, and then one that's got all the sound effect files.
Yep. And then you copy them to your hard drive.
Yeah, yep. So, but I don't know. We'll see. I wonder, if any of the old installer programs are available still, where you can make an install and have it compress it. And
yeah, check the garden. I'm sure that you can get some stuff on there.
So that'd be interesting to do. We'll yeah, I'll make it so that it's a direct download. Um, and it'll first appear as a hypercard stack or just, a folder with all the files. I did talk to Breeze, the guy that created Blob, about getting the source code to his mini VMac that he made that is like a custom shell for running the program. So he made some modifications to it, and we talked about making it more generic so you could support your own game with a config file. Because what that does is it gives you a mini VMac version of the game where it automatically plays as soon as you start it up. And when you close the game, it closes the emulator. Does a bunch of stuff like that. So it's like a standalone version of it. But it was a project that he did in his spare time, and if he happens to hear me talking about it, it's like I can wait another year if I have to do that. But I would like to eventually release it as something that you can play on a regular PC. So maybe I'll just do a regular mini VMac release of it where you can you have to still click it to start it up or something. But so I want to do that. I think I did publicly say I'm going to do box art. I'm going to make a box set for it, all handmade materials, and then include a manual with mapping stuff so you can trace your route through the game and keep track of the map. And my eldest daughter has some graphic design skills, so she said she would draw like either the cover art or something like that for it. So that'll be fun. And do a box set. Try to keep the price low on it. I'll just sell, 5 of them, whatever. I don't
sell
care.
More than 5.
Yeah, it's not going to be to make money. Put it that way.
Yeah.
So it's just for the fun of it, because I want to have my own box set I can set on my shelf.
Yeah.
So
you could do a limited edition box set, and then like the Ziploc bag floppies with the card for.
Yep. Yeah, the shareware version.
Yep.
So yeah, but doing the manual and stuff like that should be pretty cool. Try to do it up like a game that you would have gotten back in the day.
Yeah. This is how modern games come now. If you even get a physical version.
Yeah.
This is a PlayStation 5 game. You get a case. It's got a blurb on the back. And you get a disc. That's it.
Yeah.
No manual. That's left empty. Sometimes there's coupons or ads in there, but this one was just empty and a disc, and that's it. I miss when games came with stuff.
Yeah. I even thought about, or one of the things my daughter said is that you should put something that says enter the 5th word on page 3 of the manual to get a special weapon or something. And I like, that's an awesome idea. We could add stuff like that. So
yeah, I do like that.
Yeah. But that's it. I'm mostly working on that, and then this stuff. I got that SE and SE30, and Will is gonna redo a whatever that rebuild board.
The reloaded board.
Yeah, reloaded. Thank you. He's gonna do a reloaded for me.
Technically, it's not even called a reloaded board, but that's what everybody calls it. So the SE has a reloaded and the Classic has a reloaded, but the SE30 is not actually called reloaded. But I don't think it has a name. I think it's SE30 Recreation Project or something like that.
Something like that. Yeah. So that'll be good, because when I started tracing out the address lines, there's a whole bunch of things that are broken, traces that are broken. And then I found a couple that were routed differently, so they must be shorted.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, that's beyond my skill.
You don't want to just go fix all those?
No, because there were at least 16 of them just on the address lines.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no.
Yeah, Will's a machine with those boards too. He just cranks them out.
Yeah. Opens HyperCard stack, finds code, cheats. Yeah, Joe, it's going to be compiled with compile it. So, and I'm going to use an encryption algorithm that has a rotating fractal encryption scheme, and you have to find data to actually correct it for you.
You should make that part of the game.
Yes.
There's some chest you can't open unless you do that. End up turning that into like a coding challenge for a job interview.
Yeah, it'll be. Yeah, you'll have to write some code to be able to get into it. Breaks in the house, gets source code, cheats.
Yeah, Joe's not that far.
Yeah, Easter eggs. I need to put some Easter eggs in it. That'd be fun.
Isn't the whole game kind of Easter eggy itself?
It is. There's a lot of memes in it. There's I don't know if you guys are familiar with a rapper named Frontalot. He sings "You Might Be Eaten by a Gru." Anyway, you have to look him up.
I'm familiar with the concept of being eaten by a Gru.
Yeah, he's like a gamer, vintage gamer rapper thing. I don't know. Nerd rapper, is that what you would call it? But so he's got that. So he makes an appearance in there as a bard.
Nice.
Yeah. And there's some creatures that are straight out of, text adventure games, like a Gru. And Mackie is in there as an ally. You cannot kill or attack Mackie. The game won't let you, because that would be wrong.
The game uninstalls itself if you attempt.
Yeah, the game self-destructs if it takes your OS with it.
Be warned, folks. Yes.
Some heavy set guy comes out and goes, So no, Mackie's in it. I haven't put him in yet because I'm still trying to figure out how I'm going to do it. But Garth agreed that I could put squawkers in. And then Joe wanted to be sitting in a corner of an inn with either a case of Tourette's or arguing with himself or something. I don't remember what it was, but so I got to work that in somehow. But I'm already thinking about features for version 2, like some game engines have built-in logic so that you can do like code that gets executed as part of the game. So you can write a meta game inside the game without having to have it hard-coded logic.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to be able to do that to handle dialogues. So in a lot of games, you go up to a non-playing character and you say, "Hey, give me your sword," and it'll pop up with a dialogue that says, where he says, the character says something back like, "Yeah, get away, guy," or whatever, and then you have choices. You can attack or you can run, or that kind of a dialogue engine. Well, I want to make it soft coded so you can actually make it part of the game, but not part of the game system where it's hard coded in.
Yeah.
So, script it out. And I have some ideas for doing that.
That sounds pretty complicated for HyperCard.
There you can do. I don't know. There aren't too many programmers out there, but Lambda functions.
Mm-hmm.
there's a screwy way that you can do them. Um, and you can also do self-editing code. There's it's called do, but there's an execute command
Mm-hmm.
that you can use to execute scripts from just text strings. So there's ways that you can work in systems like that. But,
Sounds like a good way to exploit the game.
yeah, it would be, because I'm making the editor freely available, and you could edit the game.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. So if you wanted to build your own adventure game, you could start from scratch and do it, or you could modify this one.
Nice.
Mess around with it. Yeah, like a Java eval. Yep. So HyperCard, considering when it was done, it borrowed stuff from Smalltalk and some of the other functional languages. Uh, it was pretty cool for its time. I wish it did real object oriented programming, but they didn't build it in.
You don't need that for HyperCard stacks.
It would be nice to extend objects, though.
Yeah.
So, but
Joe
still,
says, I learned MicroPython today. My head hurts.
yeah, don't mess up your spacing.
Yeah, the languages that are white space dependent hurt my head too.
And the thing is that it's dependent on the exact number of spaces. It should be able to recognize you've indented. It doesn't matter if it's 3 or 4.
Yeah.
Just the fact that it's indented should be enough. I imagine there's lint programs for Python.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Because it certainly needs it built in.
Indeed.
Oh, the IDE auto spaced it. Yeah. There's a plugin for HyperCard. So when you can substitute different editors for the program editor in HyperCard. So there's a way you can say, oh, execute this program to edit your script. And there's a guy that actually released early on one that did a little bit of code completion. So if you started an if statement, it automatically put the end if underneath it.
Oh, that's nice.
Which is nice. I thought about trying.
Which editor does it use? Is it like something that he built himself, or is it using BBEdit or?
No, it's built in. I forget what the name of it is, but it's just a very simple editor. And the debugger is kind of primitive, but actually does work. It's nice. You can single step through, and you can watch variables and messages and things like that. So, without it, it would be really frustrating trying to develop code in it. Yeah, I kind of liked Python, but I come from a C background. I like curly braces. And I don't follow the Kernighan and Ritchie model for curly braces because I learned Pascal before I learned C. I line up everything with the statement. So if you do a for statement and you begin it here, my curly braces line up top to bottom. In Kernighan and Ritchie style, you put the first curly brace at the end of the if statement, and then the closing brace was lined up with the if.
Yeah.
And I never liked that style.
That's the way I do it because that's the way JavaScript and PHP and all of those they don't enforce it. You can do it any way you want, but that's the way they're taught now. So that's just how I learned it.
Yep. I'm kind of old school.
I was talking earlier about Pascal. I learned Pascal in the form of Borland Delphi on Windows in the mid 90s, and they used the curly braces at the top.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, classic Pascal had actual begin and end statements for your code blocks.
Yep.
So those drove me nuts. I like the curly braces. The other thing about Pascal that drove me nuts was how string handling was done. Strings have the length of the string is the first byte, and then you have 256 characters for this classic Pascal environment.
Yeah.
Which was like, why does it limit me to 256? Whereas in C, you just have contiguous memory and you have a null byte at the end, and that's where the length of the string is determined.
Yeah, I mean,
So,
Pascal was never. I think it was meant to be a teaching language like
yes,
BASIC, right? But then
yes,
it became more important as things went on, and I think like the majority of System 6 and below software for Mac was written in Pascal.
yeah, the entire operating system and everything was written in Pascal.
And a bunch of stuff on the Amiga was in Pascal too.
Was it? Okay.
Yep.
Yeah,
It wasn't until like System 7 and onward that they'd switched over primarily to C for most Mac applications.
You still call the ROM routines with a Pascal syntax, though.
Yep.
So, yeah, I really like C. I really enjoyed it. My first job out of college was writing code in DOS in C, which was kind of like trying to work inside of a tiny box compared to Unix, but it was a lot of fun.
Yep. The extent of the C that I've written has all been for like Arduino projects and things like that. And a little game I was making with OpenGL for Windows, but just little stuff. But all of the languages I work with professionally, like PHP and JavaScript, they're all based on C syntax. So that made it easier for me to go back and start doing actual stuff in C, except for having to mess with the memory, which I've never had to do in JavaScript or PHP or any of that.
Yeah, you don't have garbage collection. You have to allocate everything. You have to deallocate it, more importantly. If you use pointers, you have to initialize them. You can't just, you have to do all the memory management.
Yep.
So I tried to learn Swift because I wanted to get into mobile development. And it was near the time where I went, you know what? I'm going into management. Screw this. So Joe's favorite language is the one that doesn't require pointers and is so loosely typed that I can shove a variable at an operator and it figures it out. You would love HyperCard.
Well, that sounds like JavaScript or PHP.
Loosely typed languages.
Yep.
It's like, is it a number or is it a character string? I don't know. Depends on how you use it.
The answer to that question is yes.
Yes.
I haven't done PHP for so long, and I don't think anybody does vanilla PHP anymore. They all use frameworks now. So
yeah,
I'm way out of the loop.
I learned PHP. When was it? I wrote a Java templating, a Java like, JSP, Java tags and stuff.
Yep, Java server pages. I did a lot of JSP
Java
back
server
in the day.
pages. So I wrote something without knowing what JSP was. I wrote something in PHP that was a tag syntax for doing looping and getting data and presenting it and doing all that stuff. And I called it yet again another template language. And I was part of a PHP users group. God, when was this? Late 90s. Part of a PHP user group, and I was presenting it. And a guy that was kind of the lead of the group, it was at their offices, and they did PHP development and stuff. And he says, "Hey, do you want a job? And I'm like, sure. Got to talking to him, worked out some, and then it got to the salary part. I'm like, I'm sorry, dude, I can't take that much of a pay cut.
Yeah.
Because it was a small company, and
Yeah.
they were. And he's like, well, can we use your code? Like, sure, go ahead, you can use it. So,
And
yeah.
that product became Cold Fusion.
Oh God, I think I'd commit suicide if that was true. Oh no, there were elements of it they liked. I used a regular expression to parse the XML because I made it XML compliant, and so I had this really gnarly regular expression that actually did parsing. Oh, I forget what recursive parsing of the template to figure out to replace everything and tokenized it, and it was a lot of fun to write.
Yeah.
Um,
Sounds complicated.
it was all written in PHP.
Do you have your stuff up on like GitHub?
No. This was like, I think I still have the presentation PDF, and I probably still have the source code somewhere, but it was like PHP 2 something.
You should put that up somewhere. It's cool.
Yeah. If I could get it running, I could just throw it on an old Apache instance.
Get it running on your G3 there.
Yeah, I could. That'd be a fun project.
That was right in the heyday of early PHP right there.
Yeah. Yeah, I ran my web page at the time using it. That was fun.
Mm-hmm.
An OS 9 web server, yeah. Maybe that's what I'll do with this thing. Make it into a web server.
You can host your you were already talking about making a classic looking site.
I do actually have one.
Yeah, you could host it. Is it WordPress though?
No, it's straight HTML.
Okay, yeah, you could host it from that thing right there.
Yeah, it's just raw HTML. Let me grab the URL and drop it in the chat.
Is that now your most powerful classic Mac that you have? Oh, I guess you've got the Cube, so the Cube is probably.
I have the Cube.
Got a bit more oomph.
I've got the G3 laptop that Garth gave me, so that's the web page. I started doing a blog on it, so I've been doing a little bit of stuff in Patreon, posts and things, and I do posts on short ones on Mastodon. But I think what I'm going to do is start microblogging, I guess, on this website, just writing everything in raw HTML, and then link to it and just refer to it. So,
yeah, you could start using that instead of Twitter, since everybody's leaving Twitter now.
Yeah, I left Twitter months ago, actually. So, but it would be neat to, if I hosted this, I could do an RSS feed on it and do it like it's 1999 all over again.
Yeah. 1999 was the best time. That's right when I first started working.
Yeah. Yeah, we did. I'm trying to remember the first web page I did. It was mid-90s, I think.
Oh, I remember the first page I did professionally. It's horrible looking.
Oh, yeah. The first one I did never saw the light of day. Actually, the client went, we're not going to use this. So
they did use mine. It was a company in Denver. I'm sure I can mention it. It was called United Fire Protection, but someone had already bought unitedfire.com. So they spelled fire with the Y instead. So it was unitedfyre.com. And
Hey,
I don't know why they went with that, but that's fine. The name of their company was IRE, not YRE, but for the URL they went with the Y.
wow.
It was the Wild West.
Yeah.
But this was in the DHTML had just come out,
Oh,
and so I used the timeline features to make all of the elements of the page swoop in. So like the nav menu came in from the right, the content came in from the top, the
yeah.
footer came in from like diagonally, and then the first page of the site was a place where you had to click whether you had Internet Explorer or Netscape, because the JavaScript was different for depending on the browser.
Yep. Yeah, I remember
Free CSS.
DHTML. Yep, I remember DHTML. I had to do, I think IE 5 had come out, and I was doing work for one of the big motor companies in Michigan, and I had to use IE3 compatibility for it. God, that was a pain to write.
Yep.
And it was a dynamic website. You know, it was had a database behind it and everything. So that was just.
Oh, and Amber, I designed all the graphics for it too, and I have never been a graphic designer, so you can imagine how nice it looked. I used Photoshop, and there was a plugin for Photoshop called Kai's Power Tools that had like really goofy filters and effects. I made heavy use of those.
Space Jam.
It's on the archive. So if you ever go to the Wayback Machine and want to check it out, you
Oh God,
can.
we're doing that right now.
We're not doing that right now.
Yeah, we are.
We should leave that to the people on their own.
Nah, I won't do that. I'll do it. Yeah.
I used Dreamweaver back then, but I didn't use the WYSIWYG editor in Dreamweaver. I was using the code editor because for a long time, that was like the best code editor you could get.
Yep. The WYSIWYG tools back then would just mess your code up. Front page was the worst.
Front page was terrible. And this was the days before div too. So all the layout was done with tables.
Yep.
And it would put these spacers and like non-breakable space, and like they put a period in there that was the same color as the background color for like a 1 pixel spacer.
Graphic image shims that you would use to space things that were invisible.
Yep.
You should go look at the source code to my site there. It's all table driven.
Oh, that's awesome.
So I intentionally coded it using very little CSS, and I test it using IE 4.5 on my computer, and then and then also a modern browser, and try to at least get it to somewhat work between the two.
Yep.
So yes, where the heck did my TD go?
You have to remember to use call spans and row spans. I used I think it was Photoshop 5 when they split out the web stuff into Adobe ImageReady.
Yeah.
And ImageReady, you could feed it a PSD, and then you could draw on the PSD where the text of your web page was going to go, and it would spit out HTML that was table based with like all of those image shims in it. So you didn't need to use image maps anymore, the CGI bin image maps. You could actually like do it all with HTML, and it would be this gigantic mess of HTML.
Yeah.
And it would bring browsers to their knees, because it's like you get like 20 nested tables deep.
Yeah.
But they look nice. Yeah, we're spoiled now, Joe, with Flex and the grids, CSS grids. And then if you go a little bit further, you've got Bootstrap, and that does just so much for you, and Tailwind. There's a lot of ways to make this stuff super easy now.
Yeah. Oh yeah, the frameworks have gotten so much better. You used to have to roll your own,
Yep.
if you wanted to do a framework.
It's funny because jQuery was like amazing when jQuery first came out. It was like a revelation. You could do so much with it.
Yeah.
And now, like, people really shy away from jQuery and they use the newer frameworks like Angular or React.
Yeah. I interviewed for a job to do Angular. Um, Again, it was just before I decided to go into management. I didn't
Yeah.
know much about it and I hadn't done anything really, professionally with it. I
Mm-hmm.
studied it for a couple of months and I thought, well, what the heck, so I applied for this job with a company. Oh my God, the interview had 20 people in it. Literally, they sat
Yeah.
you in a conference room and gave you a problem to code, and you had to build a website to do it with 20 people staring at you. And
I
I
don't
did it.
participate. I don't, if they do that, I
Yeah.
don't do it because that's not a company I would want to work for anyway.
Yeah.
That's,
It was the first time I'd ever experienced something like that. I mean, I've had interview panels with 4 people, 5 people
yeah,
on them, where they're just peppering you with questions and stuff, but I never had
yeah,
that kind of a thing. And obviously I didn't get an offer, but
yeah,
because I'm like, yeah, I could do that, and I hacked something out and got it working, but
yeah.
I struggled with it.
Yeah, and it's harder when there's 20 people watching you and questioning
Yeah.
what you're doing.
Yep. Yeah, they would like interrupt you while you were trying to do it and ask you questions. It was
Yeah, and
really
you don't know if those questions are supposed to be a hint or if they're just asking a question or trying to throw you off.
exactly.
It's a miserable experience.
Yeah.
Those are the kind of places that want you to do like 60-hour weeks too. So
Well,
the
and that
fact,
was the norm when I was at that point in my career, was having to work that many hours.
mhm.
So I loved switching to contracting with the state, because it
Yeah,
was like, oh no, you can't work past 5. We'd have to pay you overtime. We're not authorized to do that. And I'm like, sweet. I'd come home at the end of the day, and my wife would be like, what are you doing here?
you're not supposed to get home until 2 hours after supper.
Yeah. You're supposed to meet us at the music thing or whatever. I'd do that a lot, where I'd show up just as the show starts.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh, pair programming. It works for some people. Um, I've seen it work when you have a programmer and a subject matter expert working together, because the subject matter expert usually doesn't have any clue what you're doing, right? But they're there to be able to say, oh, no, 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 what I meant was whatever. That sometimes can work.
Yeah.
Usually you exhaust the SME before they get anywhere and they give up and go back to just handing you requirements the traditional way.
I like doing it that way, but I don't like the collaborative two coders working on the same file at the
Yeah.
same time while on a call with each other, because you step on each other's toes all the time and
Yeah.
it's not productive.
Well, and you don't feel like you can actually take time to think about what you're doing. You feel like you
Yep.
have to perform immediately. And I think it produces worse code in a lot of cases.
Yeah, sometimes I'll have a coworker that I really click with and I can bounce questions off of, and he can bounce questions off of me,
Yeah.
and we'll be on a call and I can be writing code and he can be watching me do it, but I'm like asking him specific questions, not like we're both working on the same thing
Right.
at the same time. That's a lot better.
Yeah. And then that person can take the time to just think about what you're doing instead of doing it. And they might see something that you're missing.
Yep.
That makes sense.
But like the way that it's sold as two coders working on the same thing at the same time collaboratively, that doesn't work.
Yeah.
It
Now,
might work for some people, but not for me.
if somebody were working on this, like if you're working with a UI person and they're working on the CSS and stuff like that, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I worked for a company that did e-learning stuff. This is back when Flash was big,
Mm-hmm.
and we had not just graphic designers but UI people that would work on the look and feel of things. I focused
Mm-hmm.
mostly on the back end, so the SQL Server and the the server-based stuff, any services we had to do. Oh God, I did something totally new that nobody had done before at the company called SOAP. You know what I
Was it
mean?
new at the time?
It was new at the time, and I was telling we had to interface with another company's inventory system, and I taught them how to do SOAP in
Man,
their
when web
environment.
services were new, people
Yeah,
thought they were magic.
yeah, it was really cool when it got working, but it
Yep.
was brittle as hell though.
Yeah.
Sorry, we're probably boring everybody with the code stuff now, but
Well, it's about time for me to go to bed anyway.
yeah, I need to find a power cable for tomorrow so I can use the monitor.
I'm sure you've got one in one of those bins right behind you.
Right? Yep, it's probably right over there. We're
Yep.
there. We're there. All right. Well, it was
Or
fun. I
in
like
each of
doing
those.
this.
Yeah, this was cool. Next time we get some loot, we got to do it again.
Yeah. Awesome. So thanks a lot, everybody, for joining. Appreciate it. Look us up on the tubes, and we'll see you tomorrow on Dave's stream.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Where's the button? How do you get out of this thing? Oh, there it
I have
is.
no idea. I've never done it before.